Welcome to the Accelerated Investor Podcast with Josh Cantwell. If you're looking to retire early with forever passive income, you're in the right place. This podcast is the go-to destination for real estate investors, both active and passive, and multifamily apartment investors, both new, intermediate, and advanced. Now, sit back, listen, learn, and accelerate your business, your life, and your investing with the Accelerated Investor Podcast.
So hey there, welcome back to Accelerated Investor with Josh Cantwell, the #1 podcast for commercial real estate investments and multifamily housing. I'm so excited to be with you. Listen, we are continuing our conversation today around the 9 traits of elite entrepreneurs and 8- and 9-figure investors. We've been talking about this now for about a month or so, maybe 2 months. And this is our 7th solo cast around this topic. Obviously, we're going to do 9, plus we have a bonus. So I should do 10 episodes around this topic. And these are, again, the traits, the characteristics of the people that I've interviewed, that I've invested with, that have invested with me, who are elite entrepreneurs, people achieving at that 8- and 9-figure, whether it's their net worth, whether it's their balance sheet, large portfolios, big businesses. These are the traits and the characteristics that I've observed. And so let's jump in with number 7. Number 7 is elite entrepreneurs. One of the traits is that they scale the one-to-many concept, right? So write that down. They scale the one-to-many concept. And the question really, if you boil this down, is how can they teach and speak in front of large crowds? So one person has an opportunity to speak to many people at one time, right? And the question becomes is how can we speak to our target audience by the thousands? How do we speak to our target audience by the thousands? And if we are going to speak to them, what would we say, right? So when I had Kevin O'Leary come to one of my events, I wrote Kevin a very large check to be there. So he got paid by me to come to our event and speak on entrepreneurship. And I wrote Kevin a check. He showed up and he scaled the one-to-many concept, right? He was one man speaking to hundreds and hundreds of people that were in the crowd. Another example is when I send out an email broadcast, an email message to all of my subscribers. I've got about 65,000 people who get my emails. And every time I click send, that's one person, me, along with the help of my team, of course, loading it up and sending it out through our email platform. And 65,000 people receive it. About 30% of those people open it, which is about 15 to 18 to 20,000 people that open every email that I send. So that's another example of scaling the one-to-many concept. I've got friends that got very active Facebook accounts, and they do a Facebook Live. They might get 1,000 views. Okay, they're not a celebrity. They're not, some sort of huge personality, but they do a Facebook Live and they get 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 views of a Facebook Live. Again, that's one to many. It's one to thousands. I've got friends that have YouTube channels with 25,000, 50,000, 100,000 subscribers. And whenever they put a video out, that video will get tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of views. And they've scaled the one-to-many concept using YouTube. This podcast allows me to get in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people every time I record an episode, just like the one I'm recording right now that you're listening to. This is helping me scale the one-to-many concept, right? How can I speak to my target audience by the thousands where I record or you record one piece of content and it gets in front of thousands of people? Okay. So Here's a couple tips and tricks. Like there's obviously lots of different ways to do this, right? There's events, there's webinars, there's social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, blogs, Forbes Real Estate Council, Facebook videos, YouTube videos, LinkedIn videos, YouTube short videos, TikTok videos, iTunes, Spotify, podcasting of all kinds. So that's like a dozen examples I just gave you right there. The question here is, well, people will say, well, Josh, it sounds like a lot of work. The truth is, it is a lot of work and it does take time. However, once that audience is built, as long as you continue to give your audience quality content, quality material that they can open, that they can enjoy, that they can use for whatever the purpose is, they're going to continue to do that as long as you're giving them great stuff and you honor their time. So when we think about scaling the one-to-many concept, the thing that sticks out to me is honoring people's time, making sure you get into it fast, make sure that that's something that they can either be entertained by or educated by or both, and that it starts fast and ends quickly, right? So when you look at YouTube or TikTok, and this TikTok's definitely proven this to be true, is that our audience and people generally have a shorter and shorter and shorter window of time that they're willing to spend. And so you look at TikToks that could be 10 seconds long or 20 seconds long. In the past, it was YouTube videos that were 2 to 5 minutes long. And even before that, there were webinars that were 30 to 60 minutes long. I started all the way back in 2005 doing long form webinars that were 30 to 60 minutes, sometimes 90 minutes, sometimes 2 hours. But I had an engaged audience that already received email marketing from me or from one of my affiliates or one of my friends, inviting them to a webinar. And a webinar meant it was going to be at least an hour, right? And then people's time frames got shorter. And then we went to YouTube videos that were 30 minutes, and then YouTube videos that were 15 minutes, and then YouTube videos that were 2 to 5 minutes. And now, of course, TikTok and YouTube shorts have all now come down to 5, 10, 20, 30 seconds. And those have the highest level of views, but people don't really take action off of those. They don't really make a buying decision off of that. So in a perfect world, you have some sort of short video content that's 10 to 20 seconds. You target those people when they click on a video or watch it. You can retarget them using retargeting metrics and retargeting strategies, whether that's through Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, or whatever. And then you target them to watch a paid video that's 2 to 3 minutes long. They enjoy that. And then you retarget them again. And then you bring them over to maybe a website where they can watch a 15-minute video or a sales letter or a video sales letter that's 15 to 30 to 60 minutes long. But it starts with that short 10 to 15 to 20 to 30 second clip where they can get a small taste, a small bite of who you are and what you want to do, right? In the past, it was just, hey, I've got this giant email marketing list. Come watch my 90-minute webinar. Still works to some degree. But in the past, people would stay till the end and they would buy lots of stuff. Today, a lot of people want to see free content, short videos before they even spend another 2 or 3 minutes. And then another 2 or 3 minutes of really good content, maybe through Facebook videos or those kind of things, before they'll opt into your email list and then be invited to a webinar, and they'll watch that webinar for 30 to 60 minutes. Okay, so we do all of it. So let me just give you some insight here on how this starts and how you can start, and then we'll wrap up. So first of all, you got to have some sort of way to capture the prospect's information, right? Some sort of squeeze page where they can opt in with an email and maybe a phone number, or an email and a name, the squeeze page. Or they can go to your website and maybe a pop-out shows up on their website and they can opt in to get a free report, and they put in, again, their name and their email. Maybe it's a text message opt-in where they text, 12345 to some sort of phone number that's 505050. That's not real, by the way. I just made that up, so don't do that. Don't text that. And then they get to their phone, they get a link to some sort of free content. You could also retarget them, right? So when they're on Facebook, they watch a video of yours, you have a retargeting pixel, a retargeting link that they can, once they watch your video, that you can retarget them. But essentially what you want them to do is take them off of these platforms, off of Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and get them onto your email broadcast list, or get the prospect onto your text message broadcasting list. That way you can kind of more control the conversation. Okay. So we got to have some sort of squeeze page, website, text message way to opt in. All right. I'm not going to go through all the mechanics of that, but that's the key part of it, right? Then it comes down to, okay, let's use our free ways that we can scale the one-to-many concept, which is obviously all the social media platforms, right? Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, those types of things. But I would say, look, be an expert and be a well-known voice on one of those or two of those platforms. Don't go out and try to be, Superman on 6 different social platforms at once. Pick one, Facebook or LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn, by the way. It's very professional. People that are there to make money, they're there to make connections, partnerships, especially for commercial real estate. LinkedIn is a great resource. A lot of people that have money and very professional and really want to do something with their life and want to grow their network, go to LinkedIn. So start with that one. Become an expert there. Make lots of friends there. Post content there. Post LinkedIn lives there, right? Those kind of things, videos there, with a call to action to then go to your website and opt in for your free report, or text to get your free report texted to their phone. Okay. So website, squeeze page, text message, some way to opt in. That's step number 1. Step number 2, start posting on some sort of one of the free places. Now, one of those free platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, on all of those, if you want to go ahead and pay a few dollars, now you can set up retargeting campaigns. Retargeting campaigns allows you to say, hey, this person read my post or watched my video. Now I'm going to send them paid videos. I'm going to pay Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, etc., to send them additional video content or written content in the form of ads. Now that they have some familiarity with you, they go to step number 2, which is longer form content or some sort of longer advertisement. Again, that advertisement might be to just go back to your website and opt in on the squeeze page or website or text message opt in.
Are you ready to automate and explode your real estate investing? We're searching for extremely motivated individuals who are sick and tired of wasting time and want to finally see real results from their real estate investing business. We're searching for investors looking to get to the next level and become a bigger, better version of themselves while being a more successful real estate investing entrepreneur. Apply for mentoring and coaching at joshcantwellcoaching.com/podcast. That's joshcantwellcoaching.com/podcast.
Okay, so that's step number 3, is the retargeting stuff. Okay, now at that point, once they're retargeting, we're hoping that they're taking some action and now they're on your list, right? So you set it up. That was step number 1. Now we're on step number 4. Now they've opted in to your squeeze page, website, text message opt-in or something like that. And you can continue to retarget them, which we talked about in step number 3. Okay, so step number 4, now they're on your list. Step number 5, we've got to start a conversation with them in a controlled email marketing environment. So we're now sending them emails with your voice, your message, your personality, and you're continuing to scale the one-to-many concept. So we send out 2 emails a week, every week, no matter what. Every Tuesday and every Saturday, we send out emails, which basically sends out free content primarily around this podcast, YouTube, and iTunes, which allows them to continue to consume more video content, more audio content, and just become more familiar with what you're doing. Now, I send out those email broadcasts on Tuesdays and Saturdays to often what is a 20 to 50 minute podcast. 20 minutes, maybe sometimes they're shorter, sometimes they're 7 to 10 minutes, but it's 20, sometimes as long as 40 to 50 minute podcasts that they can consume, and they're getting to know me. Okay. A guy that I learned a little bit of marketing from back in the day, his name was Joe Polish. Joe Polish said that marketing is sales in print. Okay. So marketing, in the form of email marketing, squeeze pages, social media, all these types of things. The longer that somebody's on your list and more familiar with you, the longer content and the more thorough content you can send them. They're going to consume longer messages, longer videos, because they're more familiar with you. If they're not familiar with you, it's like, look, it's no different than dating, right? If I'm single and I'm in a bar, I might strike up a conversation with a girl just in the point of starting the conversation, talking to her for 5, 10, 15 minutes, then maybe leave and go back to the bar, hang out with my buddies. And then maybe later in the night, go back and approach her again. And maybe that conversation is a little longer because now she's familiar with me, right? 30 minutes, maybe it's a little longer. Then it's, hey, can I get your phone number? We talk on the phone. Now we're on the phone. Maybe that's 30 to 60 minutes on the phone, right? 30 to 60 minutes. Now she's more familiar with me. Now we go on a date, and the date might be 3 or 4 hours. Now she's more familiar with me, right? And it just kind of leads on and on and on. This is no different. When you're using social media and these different platforms to scale the one-to-many concept, right? If you don't have a captive audience, it needs to be short at the beginning. Then as they get familiar with you, a little longer. And then as they get familiar with a little longer. Pretty simple. Okay. And ultimately get to the position where you either put out amazing good content and people are consuming it. If you're not getting a lot of views, you're not getting a lot of likes organically and virally, then you might need to pay a few bucks, hire an advertising agency to promote your video, those short videos, to get those retargeting pixels, and then ultimately feed longer videos to that group, and then retarget them, and then longer videos to that group. And then they're going to opt in on your website for something for free, or maybe buy one of your products. So all of that, again, I could teach this stuff, but it would take me 3 days, right? It would take me like a weekend boot camp to teach digital and internet marketing. The point here, though, is that elite entrepreneurs and 8- and 9-figure investors, they find a way to recruit investors, to have their brand, to get views, to sell products, to get free downloads of their podcast or their ebook, and they scale the one-to-many concept. That's one of the traits that I've witnessed in almost every elite entrepreneur that I know. Okay. Now, 2 more things that you could do to scale the one-to-many concept is, one is get invited to speak on stages at face-to-face events, and also webinars where you speak to many people through virtual events or virtual stages. Okay. So whether they're face-to-face events or virtual events, that is a major way. So if somebody else that you know is hosting an event, see if you can get a speaking spot. Maybe you're speaking in front of 50 people or 100 people or 500 people or 5,000 people, but you can have no audience of your own, but have a great message and a great relationship with a host of an event and get invited to speak. That's happened for me as well. I've spoken at many events with hundreds or thousands of people because I had a good message. I didn't really know the audience, but the host of the event, the host of the webinar, the host of the face-to-face event invited me to come and speak. And that whole audience got to hear me for maybe 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes. The whole audience got to see me speak. So I just scaled the one-to-many concept. But you got to have, 1, a great message, something to teach, and number 2, a relationship with the host of the event or the affiliate who's hosting the event. Okay, that way you can bypass all this other stuff I've talked about and creating this digital marketing funnel. You can just go speak. Pretty simple. The last and final way is to write a book. Okay, last and final way is to write a book. My friend Justin Donald, who's been on this podcast, I've been on his podcast. We've been friends for years. He featured me in his book, Lifestyle Investor. Definitely check it out. Buy the book. It's called Lifestyle Investor. Just look up Justin Donald on Google and you'll find it, I'm sure. Anyway, Justin had been a very successful lifestyle investor, primarily investing in real estate and mobile home parks, and then decided he wanted to share it with the world. Well, he didn't have an email marketing list. He didn't have a successful blog or Facebook videos or a podcast or TikTok channel or any of these kind of things. What he did was he wrote a book. The book was then downloaded and purchased 50,000 times. And then all of a sudden, everything else he did blew up. His social media blew up, right? His YouTube channel blew up. His podcast blew up, right? His Facebook account blew up. His LinkedIn connections blew up because of the book. Okay. So all of it works together, right? The events, the webinars, the book, the social media platforms, the YouTube videos, the audio, the video, it all works together when you have an amazing message, which Justin Donald does, which I'd like to think that we do too. We've sold over $50 million worth of online products, services, and coaching. We have hundreds of thousands, millions of connections, millions of YouTube views, all that kind of stuff. We've scaled the one-to-many concept successfully. Did we do it overnight? No. If I was starting over, though, here's what I would do. I would take all my best strategies. I'd put them in a book. I would put the book up on Amazon and I would charge for it. Let's say $10. Then I would give away the book or a chapter of the book for free on my website. Okay. So if you're on my website, it's free, or maybe it's free plus shipping. You could do free, which is just a digital book, or you could do free plus shipping, which is just the cost of shipping to ship the book to somebody so they have a physical book in their hands. Or they can go to Amazon and actually buy the book for like a full price, let's say 10 or 20 bucks. Okay, so you got to start with that message somehow, some way. And now start with going to your social media and promoting your book, and then start to retarget those people that go to your social media, retarget them, pixel them, retarget them with videos, the short 10, 20, 30-second videos. Retarget them to the 2-3 minute videos, retarget them now to your 15 to 60 minute videos, and continue to offer the book. When they buy the book, guess what? Now they're on your email marketing list as well. Okay. Many of you are here watching this podcast on YouTube or on iTunes because of this exact strategy, which we've been successful at scaling, the one-to-many concept. If you want more help learning how to do this for yourself, just jump into our mastermind. This is one of the things that we teach, that we do, that we mastermind around. It's called the Forever Passive Income Mastermind. And of course, it's commercial real estate investors and multifamily investors. But we definitely talk a lot about marketing, branding, and digital marketing. And you can go ahead and apply for that program at joshcantwellcoaching.com. See how that works? You've been here. You've been listening to the one-to-many concept. We have a little call to action at the end. If you decide to apply for the program, not only do we have your email address, but you're going to watch the video just like I just described. And everything that I just taught, I'm actually using this episode to do what I just taught you how to do. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this episode of Accelerated Investor. A little bit weird to use the episode to teach and then actually do what I'm teaching in the same episode, but fun for sure. If you enjoyed it, listen, leave us a 5-star rating and review. Go right now, open up your phone, tap that little button to leave us a 5-star rating, tap the little button to subscribe so you never miss another episode of Accelerated Investor. We'll see you next time.
You were just listening to the Accelerated Investor Podcast with Josh Cantwell. If you enjoyed this episode and learned something new, help us build the AI community by leaving a review and 5-star rating on our iTunes podcast channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. To see passive investing opportunities, visit freelandventures.com/passive. To start your journey toward the lifestyle you've always dreamed of with multifamily apartments, apply for one-on-one coaching with Josh at www.joshcantwellcoaching.com.